Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Professor Dr. Muhammad Nasir bin Khalid. I'm currently a lecturer at the Faculty of Mathematical Sciences, University Technology Mara, UiTM Shah Alam. And for everybody here, I'm very welcome that we have 80 participants in the Zoom and increasing viewers from our concurrent Facebook Live. Here we have participants from various countries, which are Pakistan, Singapore, Malaysia, India, Indonesia, Philippines, Pakistan, and England. Thank you for your kind attendance. The purpose of this webinar titled COVID-19 Energy Efficiency Technology Investment in Economic Recovery Plan is to create awareness and educate the public on the energy efficiency and the benefits on investing into the technology, especially during the recession impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. We have featured 3 green technologies companies today. There are Blockchain Energy Savings Consortium, or in short BESC, powered by EPC Blockchain, GENS, and also ICEE International. Above all, the highlights today includes a special virtual soft launch of Blockchain Energy Saving Consortium with our special guests and consortium members signing ceremony. As we already know, climate change is now affecting every country on every continent, disrupting national economies and affecting lives, costing people and communities today and even more tomorrow. Just like COVID-19, to combat climate change, green energy is one of the key effective ways, especially in carbon emission reduction, reversing impacts of global warming. To reduce carbon emissions, we need more green projects and speed up investment in providing environmental benefits. This is even true as part of our economy. The International Energy Agency says that energy efficiency can play a vital role in economic recovery from the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. A study conducted by the Economic Planning Unit, EPU, and the United Nations Development Program showed that the potential savings that Malaysia can achieve in enhancing energy efficiency between 2016 and 2030 period are at least 137,775 gigawatt, or equivalent to 46.92 billion ringgit in electricity consumption. So today, our keynote speaker is Professor Dato Insinyur Abu Bakar, who has served government of Malaysia in various capacities since 1973. He is also on the board of directors of public listed and private companies. He is a professor of UTM Perdana Center, Razak Faculty of Technology and Informatics, and research fellow, UTM Ocean Thermal Energy Center. At the same time, he is a full-time with UTM Jalan Semara. Without further ado, I call upon Professor Dato Insinyur Abu Bakar Jaafar, who is also chairman of Malaysian Green Technology and Climate Change Center, to give his keynote speech. Welcome, Dato. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor Dr. Muhammad Nasir. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Salam sejahtera and good afternoon to one and all. On behalf of the Malaysian Green Technology and Climate Change Center, I wish to take this first opportunity to thank the organizers, in particular EPC Blockchain, for having extended this invitation to me. First to give a speech on the subject, and at the same time, at the end of my presentation, I will launch the Blockchain Energy Saving Consortium. And the title of my talk this afternoon is to outline the proposed national. So the next slide is showing the outline of my speech this afternoon. For the first 3 points, I want to introduce MGTC, Malaysian Green Technology and Climate Change Center and its past 10 years programs, and also to share with you our latest programs in planning. And one of those programs is talking about a carbon center, trade carbon center, and one of the schemes that we would like to propose, which I will highlight today. And last but not least, to launch the blockchain energy saving consortium led by EPC blockchain company. Next. Okay, the motto for the MGTC is to strengthen green growth and mitigate climate change action towards a sustainable environment. And there are three major pillars: one on green growth, second on mitigation, climate change mitigation strategies, and third but not least, three major pillars of our program. Next. Okay, for those who don't have the benefit of knowing MGTC before, and actually it was formed as Malaysia Energy Center, in short in Bahasa is PTM, Pusat Tenaga Malaysia, back 1988. In 2010, it has transformed itself and it's called Malaysian Green Technology Corporation. And last year in October, the government has announced that this center, the scope of this center be expanded to include the subjects of climate change. And now the center is known as Malaysian Green Technology Climate Change Center. And we're going to have a new logo that's going to be launched by our Prime Minister soon. Next. Okay, these are the three pillars I was saying earlier. Green core business is to enable these three programs by focusing on green technology. Next. Okay, this is the structure of our programs. And as you see, the first program under green growth, this is based on the Green Technology Master Plan, was introduced back in 2017. And this plan will cover over the period of 2017 up to the year 2013. And as you have observed the last two columns, this is where our new programs, although we've been doing this work before, but I think now the focus of the work relating to climate change in Malaysia is going to be anchored by this our center, MGTC. Next. Okay, this is a quick review of our achievement the last 10 years. We have managed to reduce carbon reduction through green technology financing scheme, almost 4 million tons CO2 equivalent per year. And also through our green investment tax allowances and green investment tax exemption, we have also managed to reduce our carbon emission of over 1 million tons CO2 per year in the last 10 years. Next. Okay, this is to share you the one slide on the latest programs. Next slide. And there are many new programs, but today I'm to discuss only two of them. The first one is we're going to establish a trade carbon center. All work relating to climate change in Malaysia is going to be anchored this center. And I think today I want to speak about one of the proposed schemes or programs that we're going to propose to the government, that is the carbon scheme is very important for us to develop our renewable energy. And in Malaysia, most renewable energy have been developed, but to promote, to generate electricity. But our center is going to focus on generating renewable energy power to be converted to hydrogen fuel. And hydrogen fuel is going to be the major, most dominant energy carrier in this century. So these two programs will be the focus of this afternoon's presentation. Next. Okay, the background to the National Carbon Trading Schemes, as many of us here are very familiar, under the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, 1992, like other countries, Malaysia has no legal obligation to reduce its greenhouse emissions. However, here accountability. Because of that principle, then Malaysia has pledged at the COP21 to reduce its carbon intensity by 45% by the year 2030 from that of 2005 level. And of course, that 45% including 10% reduction with the support of international communities. Next slide. Why we need this national carbon trading scheme? First and foremost is to create the market in Malaysia for carbon trading. Without the market, I don't think the whole program will work. And first and foremost, we need to create market. And I think like many other countries, we have to introduce the necessary emission cap. That means that is carbon emission per unit of energy consumed. And the principle is that those who are unable to meet their and the trading of carbon could be introduced at the existing commodity exchange. We do not need really a new platform for trading. Next. And the second rationale why you need to promote this is that to introduce the national carbon trading scheme is to promote the development of energy saving, energy efficiency, and also to promote the development of renewable energy projects. And first, I think this is a key intervention by providing the financing of the initial cost of consultancy and carbon reduction verification of various energy saving, energy efficiency, and RE renewable energy projects. I think and such costs would be recovered upon the sale of carbon credits. I think this has been the major barriers in the past why those who wish to develop their own projects couldn't cost at the front and to even to carry out this undertake this transaction costs. So I think that this new scheme will be able to provide such environment. And the second part is that by raising the required financing of various energy saving, energy efficiency, renewable energy projects themselves. So there are two major interventions that are going to be introduced by our consortium. Next. And of course, there are other benefits to Malaysia having to introduce this proposed national carbon trading scheme. And the first one would be to improve the present state of national energy security. As we know, that Malaysia is heavily dependent on fuel imports, especially that of heavy crude and coal. And coal is, I think the level of import power is gone up beyond 60%. And number two is to realize the full potential of its vast off-grid small and medium hydroelectric power, off-grid rooftop solar PVs, biomass to fuel or hydrogen, waste to energy or hydrogen fuel, even excess pressure conversion to power or hydrogen in water supply distribution networks or irrigation schemes. And the reason why I say off-grid, because those projects you could take off and could get connected to the grid is not quite an issue. But I think the real issue now how to realize the potential those who cannot get their projects connected to the grid. I think that's the reason why we have introduced the new program on hydrogen. Next. So in closing, given the existing legal policy framework, the international institutional arrangement that we have in Malaysia, and further advancement in technology, various type of technology, we now have before us the new led by EPC blockchain and consists of G, Environment Energy Solutions, in short GENS, and ICE. Now my last slide. I, Abu Bakar Jaafar, hereby, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, officially launch the newly established Blockchain Energy Saving Consortium, or in short, BESC, led by EPC Blockchain. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and I'll be more than happy to entertain any question or further point for further clarification. Thank you, Prof. Nasir. Yeah. Back to you.
Thank you, Dato, for the wonderful insights. Once again, thank you for launching the Blockchain Energy Savings Consortium. Now we have 3 companies led by EPC Blockchain Sdn Bhd. We will now watch a short video, introductory video presented by BESC, Blockchain Energy Savings Consortium. Very nice video. It is such an informative video. On top of BESC soft launch, there are also the virtual signing ceremony led by EPC Blockchain. Today, there are 2 other consortium members joining us. Our new consortium members are GENS and ICEE. With this, we have 9 consortium members awarded up to date. So let me now, so you can see the virtual signing ceremony now. Okay, now Mr. Tan Lim Sun Fu is the CTO of Blockchain Energy Savings. We'll start the lead signing ceremony, followed by Mr. Azhar Osman, who is the CEO of G Environment Energy Solutions, and also Mr. Prabhat Seth, CEO of ICEE International. Let me introduce these 3 companies to you. So we all know about Blockchain Energy Savings Consortium. Now, let me introduce to you the G Environment Energy Solutions, which is the new member for this consortium. This company was awarded an Innovation Award in 2016 in Singapore and the Vendor of the Year Award in 2015 in Middle East. This group of companies is one of the leading energy solutions provider in Asia. Anacon Asia has done 3,000 projects, exported to 20 countries, and now with the development of the first end-to-end energy intelligence platform in Asia, reaching out and help clients globally are made much easier. Backed with 25 years of experience, the company has a team of experts in power generation and consumption. The company will be breaking barriers in its effort to help every single building reduce its energy consumption and costs. Air Asia, Petronas, Sime Darby, WRP Glove, SP Energy are some of their Malaysian clients. Next is the ICEE. ICEE stands for International Chile Energy Savings, International Award-winning building climate technology company since 2012. ICEE has incorporated 30 years of building management experiences into an AI-based algorithm. The system, without human intervention, not only operates central air conditioning chillers, but also optimizes them. A lot of systems, the CIE system is now available in a light, easy to install, non-intrusive wireless mode backed by blockchain technology for validation. This makes adoption and validation of ICE much simpler. So, we got two companies signed today. Now, I'm going to call upon Mr. Azhar Osman, who is the CEO, founder of Gatekeeper, G Environment Energy Solutions, or in short, GENS, which will talk about Gatekeeper end-to-end energy assessment and advisory intelligence platform. Before that, let me introduce you Mr. Azhar Osman. Mr. Azhar Osman is CEO and founder of Gatekeeper Energy Advisory Platform using AI and blockchain technology. Demonstrated history of working in the power generation, renewables, and smart energy industry, a strong advocate of innovation. He has developed new innovative solutions and has grown the company from 6 people to 80 people, and from one office to offices in 6 other countries, a game changer in the industry of energy audit and advisory. The company has the vision to be one-stop solution provider for the global energy market. Now, without further ado, I call upon Mr. Azhar Osman, which is the CEO and founder of Gatekeeper. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. One of the most important questions we will be addressing today is how do we recover from the economic impact of COVID-19 pandemic? Now, according to the IEA, International Energy Agency, with proper and improved efficiency, we are able to use less energy to perform the same task, eliminating energy waste and reducing carbon emission. Now, this can play a vital role in the recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. Welcome to the webinar. I'm Azhar Osman, CEO of GENS Malaysia. I will be covering our Gatekeeper platform that is able to evaluate and generate solutions to help you reduce energy consumption and carbon emission, resulting in tremendous savings that no other platform or energy auditor is able to do. We are the first end-to-end platform that is able to provide every possible solutions that can help you reduce your cost of energy consumption by 30 to 60%. Energy efficiency can play a vital role. These are some of the examples energy initiatives being implemented in Malaysia. However, the recommendations implemented are silos and do not provide integrated or comprehensive solutions. With Gatekeeper, we will offer all of this in one single platform. The platform will analyze the data that have been recorded and will provide solutions or interventions to help you reduce the cost of your utility consumption. Typical energy assessments require weeks and sometimes months to complete. with invasive meters that require the distance disruption and solutions recommended that are skewed and silos in nature. The future is now. Technology presents ways to reduce months to weeks, weeks to days, and hours to minutes. For our platform, we are able to offer assessment reports within minutes with aid of advanced technologies leveraging on artificial intelligence and blockchain. Even though the government has invested in improved infrastructure, energy demand continues to increase with wastage still occurring. The increase in demand will propel the increase in cost of utility, which also leads to environmental pollution, leading to an estimated 47 billion ringgit of losses over 15 years, as quoted by the Ministry of Energy in Malaysia. Now, Malaysia government has embarked on energy conservation initiatives. To address and help the government achieve their energy conservation goals, we have developed technology-driven solutions. Fast, accurate, and with global partners in energy efficiency technology to help eliminate losses and improve efficiency of the facilities equipment in the building, thereby potentially saving 3 billion ringgit annually or 45 billion ringgit over the course of 15 years. These initiatives help reduce carbon emissions significantly too. Our platform is driven by AI and blockchain technology, unbiased, accurate, and immutable data. Once the relevant data have been recorded, our system will analyze and produce a report that will indicate areas of losses and improvements or interventions to be made to counter the loss. Accessible to a myriad of global partners that tackle the different types of problem, we are able to ensure your building, be it commercial or industrial, be operating at the optimum level of efficiency. Supported by a team with 25 years of experience and enhanced with subject matter expert in the relevant industries and equipment, we have created our very own platform. Gatekeeper will be able to evaluate and provide a list of solutions to reduce your utility bill to every single shop or building that consumes energy. We are able to help clients owning convenience shops such as 7-Eleven or pharmacies and bigger facilities like airport, hotel, shopping malls. We will be in fact enhancing our platform to provide support and solutions to even bigger facilities such as refineries and power plants. Being a cloud-based solutions, Gatekeeper can help clients locally or globally, wherever you may be. Typically, energy assessment requires 9 steps to do an entire analysis and report generation, defining job scope, terms of agreement, budget, timeline, on-site survey, deliverables, etc. This is a broken system indeed, where it takes too long and very costly to do so. On top of that, solutions recommended are very expensive to implement or silos in nature. Or in other words, it only targets specific equipment. Gatekeeper has only 4 steps, thereby reducing the process by more than 50%. We do have terms of agreement to do, but once data have been collected, the speed of analysis followed by identifying energy savings and generation of report will just take minutes, as the intervention analysis, calculation, and algorithm have been embedded in the system. In tackling energy losses to achieve efficiency at its peak, this is where Gatekeeper comes in. Gatekeeper will be made available through our login website, accessible to clients globally. It is an energy efficiency and advisory software, harnessing operational and technical data to produce comprehensive advisory report. So with the data in hand, you, as the head of managing the building or the CEO, can make an informed decision. The platform is very easy to maneuver. You just select the industry or the building that you own or manage and put in the relevant data as required in the fields provided. Most of the time, this can be done by the facilities management team, where they have been working maintaining the equipment in the building. Now with Gatekeeper, they are now assisted to help detect problems, and evaluating the performance of the equipment are now made much easier. There are two levels of assessments. Gate Basic establishes the baseline and identifies surface level savings. We've identified basic parameters or data that is able to provide immediate recommendation or intervention to help save your utility costs. Now, our Gate Pro comprehensive review includes analysis of all the important equipment. With Gate Pro, you are able to evaluate the performance of your equipment and compare the results between actual and design. Chiller, boiler, pump, AHU, CFU, cooling towers, generators are some of the equipment we can help analyze and determine the performance of your equipment. Now, another important component, having an understanding of renewable energy market and performance, we are able to provide renewable energy recommendation as well. An important component to know, as this solution not only help reduce cost of energy, but also carbon emission. Once approved, we are able to help lead and implement the project with the help of our channel partners. The Energy Intelligence Platform recommendation will include the projected savings of 25 years. To help our client further, we do not stop at analysis and recommendations purely. The clients can choose to either implement the solution themselves or let us lead with our channel partners to provide not only solutions, but in certain cases, the funding for the project. Some clients we have met as they have their own funds, would like to pay for the solutions to be implemented so they can have better returns. And there are those who want to take up our leasing or PPA program. As you can see, the end-to-end solution shows that from data recovery all the way to analysis and solution recommended to implementation. So it's an end-to-end solution whereby we can not only advise but implement to get the result. So there'll be a pre and post result of what we have provided in this platform. Now, be part of the future and act now. We have helped clients having hospital, ferry terminals, dormitory, and office building in their energy conservation initiative. Let us help you to achieve yours. Contact us for consultation. Thank you for your participation in this webinar. We are contactable via email address shown. Our Q&A session will follow soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Azhar Osman, for your very informative talk about Gatekeeper end-to-end. So now I want to talk about our next speaker, or introduce to you Mr. Prabhat Kesas, who is the CEO of ICE International Sdn Bhd. ICE stands for Intelligent Chiller Energy Efficient Energy International Sdn Bhd. He is an advocate for autonomous operations using AI-based intelligence software. He believes in accelerating the growth of self-driving buildings. ICE provides economic returns via energy savings, especially in providing better occupant comfort, reduce building operating costs, tackle climate change, and carbon emissions. This is the new wave. So without further ado, I call upon Mr. Prabhat Kesas to deliver his speech on autonomous chiller optimization system. Welcome, Mr. Prabhat. Please.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much, Professor Nasir. There was two very interesting talks by Dato and also by Gate on Gatekeeper. Today, in today's pandemic, one of the most pressing issues that we have is the issue of indoor air quality, whereby the requirements for virus control is very, very important. Thank you very much, Professor Nasir. There was two very interesting talks by Dato and also by Gate on Gatekeeper. Today, in today's pandemic, one of the most pressing issues that we have is the issue of indoor air quality, whereby the requirements for virus control is very, very important. One of the areas that is very pertinent in the movement of air in a building is the central air conditioning. And we have noted that in central air conditioning, the ducting systems is where the air is spread throughout the building, cold air for cooling the building down. But the ducting systems also is a reason for why you have sick building syndromes, because there is fungus and molding as a result of overcondensation. Now, ICE is a solution for chiller optimization, whereby not only do we ensure that your chillers are run at optimal conditions, but we run them without any human intervention. And that's the most critical component today in two aspects. One is the fact that you have the COVID-19 situation for social distancing and various other elements. And the second is that buildings are wasting energy to make people uncomfortable. As simple as that, you know, and in essence, basically, what you need is that you need buildings that are run properly, and also you need a system that can manage itself. What are the issues that facility managers face? There are a lot of saving solutions out there, energy efficiency solutions out there, and typically saving solution providers might put a series of complex calculations, you know, or the facility management team or the operational team is struggling with the skill sets within the house to understand all of these complexities. I don't know how to measure your energy saving. You say that you've saved, but my bill doesn't go down. You know, there's so many variables. There's temperature, there's humidity, there is so many different things going on. There is low production, high production, low season, high season. My team really doesn't want to, or has so many things to do that you are expecting them to learn this is very difficult, and the list goes on. So what do we do? The ICE system not only allows you to be away from the need to learn the system because it is self-running and it is autonomous, but it also allows you to run your chillers without human intervention, which means that if your facility management team needs to work remotely, they will be able to do so. But what is even more exciting is that the system actually can pay for itself because of energy saving. As I mentioned earlier, energy saving alone is not enough incentive for somebody to basically use energy saving measures. There has to be some incentivization over and above your baseline energy saving component. In the case of the intelligent chiller energy efficiency system, which is ICE's chiller optimization system, it is intelligent enough to understand what is happening in the environment by the use of IoT sensors. And also, it interprets the data, collates the data, and then most excitingly, it actually reacts by informing the chillers what to do. So in this way, the entire system from end to end is autonomous and self-running. What is more exciting today is that we are launching our compact kit, which is a quick installation kit, so using wireless sensors. And together with that, you are able to now come up with an accurate answer or accurate evaluation of what is the savings potential instead of relying on a series of predetermined or series of assumption-based calculations. What is more exciting is that today's launch together with the blockchain, BESC's blockchain and Gatekeeper, we are now able to bring authenticated results to you, which means that you will not need, with the blockchain contract activation, calculations and measurement methods validated and verified can be can be logged, and then the savings data is the only input for the result of the output. It is a very exciting launch because the compact kit allows you to have a quick installation, a quick assessment, which means that you'll be able to manage your commitment, aka you don't have to overcommit. Secondly, it's very easy to install. Thirdly, it's authenticated. And most importantly, it will be auditable and verifiable. The ICE system has spread across the region. We are in Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, and Thailand. We've also extended our system through process manufacturing and precision cooling. We've installed our systems at hotels, airports, universities, hospitals. We've won awards both in Malaysia and international. In 2018, we won in San Francisco the Global Energy Efficiency Category Award. The solution is patented. We have our system running in Tenaga National's building in Wisma Timor, and therefore the system results speak for itself. And with our new SUK or quick startup kit or quick install kit, aligned with blockchain authentication, we believe will give you an added edge. Our commercial models are basic, which is your outright purchase based on phased purchase payments. Financing, naturally, there is in the world of energy performance contracting, you set up a shared saving. And co-investment is where the facility invests with us together, and then the ratios are set accordingly. But what is more exciting, I think, is the fact that these modes of purchase will be incorporated into the blockchain, and the blockchain contract will manage all of this. And therefore, what's going to happen is that through the data transmission, you will get validated savings that are measurable, certified methods, and trusted. Carbon credit tokens, which monetization will happen somewhere down the line, or you can use it against building up your carbon neutral status, and the entire system end-to-end is reliable. Over and above that, the system itself will give you continuous monitoring of your facility and also autonomous operation, which means that you will be able to run multiple facilities together, or you will be able to consolidate your facility management teams and even do many, many more things. As an environmental impact, the system is able to save more than 20,000 to 30,000 tons equivalent per building year on year. And to date, we've already had 27,000 tons year on year. And with our projections, we believe that we should be able to impact the planet by reducing 500,000 tons year on year in CO2 equivalent savings. I thank you very much. Instead of giving us a call for a sales pitch, why don't you try the system out? You know, because it's easily installed, it's light, it's wireless, it's non-intrusive, and with the blockchain interface, you have verifiable calculations. So I look forward to this exciting times that I'm going to have with the consortium, with Jeans and Gatekeeper, with BESC for the blockchain authentication, and it brings about a new paradigm shift where we are coming up with our own methods to self-govern so that we deliver solutions that are accurate and that are reliable. I thank you very much. Again, my name is Prabodh. I'm from IC International and look forward to catching up with many of you all. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Prabodh. Thank you, Mr. Prabodh. Thank you again for your very informative talk about ICEE, IC International. Now you are launching the new compact kit, ICEE, which is very, very in need currently in the pandemic year of 2020. Now, before I introduce our next speaker, I have to talk about, so because of the two speakers mentioned about EPC blockchain, I have to talk about the company EPC blockchain in between before I talk about present Jenny Hugh's speech. EPC blockchain is a multi-award winning Malaysian startup company. EPC blockchain develop and manage Blockchain Energy Savings Consortium, or in short, BESC platform, which intends to be a ledger for energy generation, energy use, energy reduction for any electrical equipment. BESC is managed by a patent-pending blockchain-operated intelligent energy management system used across industries, buildings, or homes. BESC empowers the mitigate climate change through encouraging investment into energy efficiency and renewable energy projects and carbon credit marketplace. So before that, we'll talk about, we'll present to you the Director of Strategic Investment, Ms. Jenny Hugh. She is from Blockchain Energy Savings. She's the Director of Strategic Investment, and she will talk about sustainable energy investment through Blockchain Energy Savings Consortium, BESC. Jenny Hugh is the Director of Strategic Investment of EPC Blockchain and Legal Manager of Lai and King Advocate and Solicitors. She is a serial entrepreneur with UK legal training and is currently pursuing her Euro-Asia IE SMU dual degree MBA. So without further ado, I call upon Jenny Hugh to talk about sustainable energy investment through Blockchain Energy Savings Consortium. Please, Ms. Jenny.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for your time and staying back in the webinar. I, Jenny Hugh, as the Director of Strategic Investment of EPC Blockchain, will be here sharing what is Blockchain Energy Saving Consortium, in short, BESC. As we all know, COVID-19 and climate change are the two destructors that will not categorize and that would not discriminate race, gender, and it will affect everyone on the earth. Likewise, many countries, Malaysia has pledged to have 45% reduction in its greenhouse emission by 2030 and cut 32 million tons of carbon emissions in accordance with the Paris Agreements. Where does the carbon emissions come up? And most of it, 25% is from electricity and the heat productions here. However, in order to get the low carbon city framework, Malaysia, that is powered by Green Tech Malaysia, which is currently known as Malaysia Green Technology and Climate Change Center, they are the renewable ideas that we are actually working on now. So what are the renewable ideas we are looking at is the project owners will invest on the renewable energy project. For example, the solar leasing for saving of the electricity in the commercial and the residential area. On top of it, they will be able to monetize the carbon credits. How does the monetization works? In 1 megawatt of solar on 4 acres of land, they will produce about 1,000 tons of carbon dioxide per year. And with that, there is assumptions of 1 ton of carbon dioxide equals to 16 Malaysia ringgit, and there will be come up to 16,000 per year of the potential monetization for carbon credit. Sounds good? But there are a few hurdles and obstacles that our project owners face here. Among all will be the manual data, which is very difficult to track. They are disputable saving allocation and easy template baseline, whereby there will be lack of technical competency because most of it are done manually. Second, high costs with high upfront project capital investment and high cost to validate and certify the carbon credit. Last but not least, there will be low and limited support and incentive provided by our governments and the relative platform. So how can BESC come in as a solution for our project owners here? BESC is the private permission blockchain platform for energy data monetization for all our consortium members. We are a consortium and we offer a win-win strategies for all our onboarding members. With that, there are 4 main elements that we'd like to bring forward. First one, project crowdfunding, where we will help to raise funds with public with regulated investment to solve the high cost problem. Second, the energy performance and transaction settlement will be done on our patent pending blockchain solutions. And last but not least, there will be carbon credit monetizations that will be potentially offered for all via our BESC platform. This is our business model where we will be doing the project crowdfunding, energy performance, transaction settlement, and carbon credit monetization for all our consortium members. And the consortium members consist of the project owners, project developers, and our EXCO here. Of course, when we talk about project crowdfunding, we will need about the investment. We also have the elements of open green fund, just like it names. It is exclusivity for BESC members. It is for solar leasing, energy performance contract, and any renewable energy provider. It is a collective investment fund where we will be raised funds from the equity crowdfunding and the initial exchange offering from the security commissions. Of course, as we are the blockchain platform, we definitely have the blockchain features, which is the DAO and DeFi, which we call as decentralized autonomous organizations. It is a committee-based governance where committee member, consortium member, and funding committee will vote and all programmed by smart contract. Last but not least, the decentralized finance technology will allow the decentralized lending and digital asset exchanges. So how do you get started? First, project owner, you can develop the SDK to push the data to the BESC API where we will provide for you in the BESC platform. You may establish the energy baseline, and with that successful data push will be recorded in our BESC platform. Third of all, of course, we will need to have the conversion of the carbon emission saving data to carbon credit equivalent. And all this data will have to be verified and audited by independent, authorized third-party carbon assessor. Last but not least, the completion of the carbon-based, cloud-based dashboard to track the energy and carbon data for the e-wallet and saving settlements. So what does BESC portals offers here? There are 3 modules and 1 marketplace, which I will be bringing everyone through. First of all, there will be a project owner module, where it functions as project owner can create project, create contract, do reporting, consortium voting, manage the device, which is the meter, and settle the saving settlements through the e-wallets. And all this can be done after the project owner done proceed and completed our KYC process. ESCO functions similar to the project owners, which I will not run through here. And audit, however, there will be difference with an auditor's function where there will be reporting, consortium voting. They can also view devices and analyze from the data. With lastly, the savings that's available with the saving settlements available from the e-wallet features. The highlights of all will be the carbon credit marketplace. For the carbon credit marketplace here, this is powered by Green Tech Malaysia. And this is going to be the first carbon credit marketplace in Malaysia. It functions as it can be upload carbon credit certification, bidding of carbon credit with green attribution token, transfer of GAT, print certificates, and the last but not least, the e-wallet for top-up for the bidding of the carbon credits. So what are the carbon credit certifications that we are talking about and the monetization that we are talking about? There are three parties that will be involved here. There will be local municipals, marketplace, which is a BESC marketplace, and last but not least, buyer. Green tech will be the local municipals that will set the carbon credit pricing and also the carbon credit certifications. The marketplace is where the BESC marketplace, which is the first in Malaysia, will do the listing of certification endorsed by green tech with the multi-signatory accounts. Last but not least, there will be also a source for our buyers to buy carbon credit to offset their current carbon's emission. And they will be able to pay via the bank transfer or any token that's under smart contract. And of course, you have to create the first you have to create the certification tokens accounts, storing the digital certificate in our blockchain decentralized storage. Last but not least, transfer certificate tokens fully or partially and reprint the certificates. So in summary, BESC acts as a platform as a service, and it is a one-stop platform for energy monetizations, capturing three main elements here, which is one, energy saving or energy generations data, and that is under the tracking services. Second, monetizations of carbon credits and REC tracking. Last but not least, they'll be under the hood of the investment, which is the fund settlement services, which is under our Open Green Fund, OGF. So what are the benefits to join us as the BESC member? Of course, as we have mentioned, there are all the possible monetization of carbon credits and notarize the CR for carbon emission reduction and REC for all the clean energy. Of course, BESC as a solution provider here will also help the project owner to solve the obstacles I've mentioned above, one of which are the high upfront costs, where we will have to fundraise for solar PV energy efficiency project through crowdfunding. We will also have to lower the project owner's IT infrastructure capital expenditure by leveraging on our resources. Last but not least, by joining as the BESC member, you will be able to have the automated measurement and verification of data for sustainable reporting to solve the data manipulation and easily tampered problem. Last but not least, all this is in compliance with ISO, where it's a survivability of energy data. So who are we looking at and who can be the potential collaboration with BESC? We have mentioned project owners and ESCO in the previous slides. We are also not leaving the EAMS provider, facility service provider, MMB consultant, energy provider, and finance institutions for all. All this, you are our potential partners, and we welcome you to join us. With that, I end my presentation and thank you for your time once again. Should you have any more further questions and doubts, we have our CTO, Mr. Tan, who will be answering your question in the Q&A session. Thank you. Once again, I'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank you, Ms. Jenny Hugh, for your very informative presentation. Female powers, wow. The only female among the speakers. Looking forward for more female powers in the clean energy industry. So now, without the time now is already 4 o'clock. So I think we want to move on to the quiz, question and answer question and answer sessions. We have 3 panels here, Mr. Prabhu, Mr. Azhar from Jeans, Mr. Prabhu from ICE, and Mr. Tan Lim Sun Fu from BESC and EPC Blockchain. So let me introduce you, Mr. Tan. Mr. Tan served as CTO or Chief Technology Officer for EPC Blockchain Sdn Bhd, which he also co-founded. He has extensive industry experience in facilities management, Internet of Things, and mobile, wireless, and web applications. In addition, he has over 20 years of experience in managing software solutions and developing web applications. Okay, so we are waiting for some questions now. So let me open the chat so to see whether there are any questions. Oh, there are some questions already posted in the chat now. So what do? I do read. So here, one question to ICEE. I'll start out with you, Mr. Prabhat. Question for you, Mr. Prabhat. Can you elaborate more on how ICEE's quick install kit? And also the second question will be, are there pay-per-use or subscription model offered by ICEE? Mr.
Okay.
Prabhat, can you answer those two questions?
Thank you, Professor. Number one, yes, on the quick install kits, basically, what you have is that it is a 5 wireless sensor solution with a black box, which is installed in your facility, and it will gather information on its own. All of the data will be transmitted to the cloud through a inbuilt data card. And at the end of the period, which is typically between 1 to 3 months, this data is then collated and presented to you so that the facility can then make a decision whether to go forward with the full system. The beauty of this quick install kit or the ICE Compact is that it is very easily installable and also very easily removable, which means that if it doesn't show the result that you expected, you can remove it. If it shows the result that you expected, you install the full system, which is the ICE Pro. On the second question, are there any pay-per-use subscription models? The answer is yes. While we offer the standard-based models of purchasing and energy performance contracting, we are moving towards savings as a service model, whereby the investment for the equipment and the services and the solution is managed on the cloud. The facility will only need to ensure that the sensors are in place and field devices such as digital power meters are in place. And based on that, a fixed ratio will be set upon which the charges will be made. So those are the two questions. Thank you. Back to you, Professor Nasir.
Yes, thank you. So I think this answer your question. So the next question is to Mr. Azhar Osman. Okay, we have one question to Dato. I'm not sure Dato is here. If Dato is here, we'll come back to that question. Question to Dato from CB Lux X Tenaga. So we will wait for that first to make sure Dato is here. So before that, I will forward this question to Mr. Azhar Osman. How does gatekeeper work? That's the first question. Second question from Shirin Zulkifli is, can you explain what is end-to-end solutions you are providing? Mr. Azhar Osman, can you respond to that question?
Yes, thank you so much, Professor. Right. So how does gatekeeper works? So basically, we are platform-driven solution. So in other words, you will just need to put your data into our platform, and we have created a very simplified kind of fields. We have two levels, the Gate Basic and Gate Pro. But from Gate Basic itself, we don't have to visit the site. Most of the time, the client has all the data in terms of what they have been collecting, and they put the data into our platform, and we're able to generate based on the data, analyze the data, and generate the solutions. And this solution that we generate covers a lot of things. You know, for example, the efficiency of the chiller, covers the renewable energy part, you know, where they need to put a solar panel and so on. And when you look at the solution that we put across, we try to cover as much as possible under, as mentioned, under one single platform. And once this being recommended, the client can also appoint us to help lead the project. So when we say end-to-end, is where the client can see from data that we collected from the building, okay, and all the way to analysis and to the point of generation, and of course implementation of solution. So we do not stop at analytics only. We continue all the way to implementation so that we can actually see the savings made, not only in terms of the cost of consumption, the utility cost that we save for them, and of course the carbon emission they managed to reduce. So this is one part where the gatekeeper able to produce, and gatekeeper does not stop to any kind of building. So it can go from as small as a shop, like a 7-Eleven, and as big as a power plant. Because we come from the power plant industry, so we know what and how to improve our power plant efficiency as well. So when you look at the gatekeeper potential, so being a cloud-based, anywhere in the world, they can put their data, get their report downloaded, and then they can look at the potential savings if they would implement that solution. And just to clarify the next question about the end-to-end, again, I repeat that it touches from the point the data received to the point of implementation. So it's a complete, it's not purely on analysis, but it's a complete solution, because our objective is to really implement the solution whereby you do have savings, because that's important to our client. At the same time, we want to see the carbon reduction from the power generated or power consumed from the building. And of course, what they call this, the different utility buildings that we can do so. Now, having said that, the ability to help a lot of clients in the fastest way possible, it can be done. Typically, energy auditor will take about, from 1 month or 4 weeks to do so and produce a report, pay $20,000, and don't even come to the solution yet, because that's another cost. For gatekeeper, it's a fraction of the cost. You get the data, you know what's happening. You can budget yourself. Should I implement this year? Should I implement next year? Or should I implement by phases? So that's the ability of what we have provided in our platform. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Mr. Azhar. I hope Ms. Sherin will be happy to get the response from our managing director about the gatekeeper and how it is working from end to end. So now I have one question earlier, like I said, to Dato, but I'm not sure whether Dato is here. I've been told that Dato is still here. Thank you, Dato, if you are still here. But I'll come back to that because I see one.
Yeah. Okay, now I got.
So, okay, wait, Dato, I have
Okay,
one
Prof.
question here to Mr. Tan. To Mr. Tan from Stephen Yo. What is the fees for joining BESC? Mr. Tan, can you respond to that question? Mr. Tan, can you respond to the question? What is the fees for joining BESC?
Yeah, hello. Thank you, Professor.
Yes.
Yeah, currently in BESC, we don't have any joining fee.
Can you speak louder because we cannot hear?
Yeah, sorry, my laptop is weak. Can you hear now? Is better?
It's okay now.
Yeah.
If possible, a bit louder, then real good.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Tan. All right, go ahead.
Basically, we don't have any joining fee for joining the BESC because we actually only do some sharing on the transaction fees. Okay, for every transaction you make, the data and then also the settlement, the bill settlement, and we do also do revenue sharing on the carbon credit sales when you have achieved obtain the carbon credit later stage and once the data collected. So basically, this is our model. I saw in the chat group also for another question is BESC applicable to other countries other than Malaysia? Yes, actually our platform do able, because our blockchain is cloud-based system. So any project from any world, they can push the data into the cloud. And for currently, we have worked with the Malaysian government, Green Tech Malaysia, to enable to support this certified our carbon credit. Actually, our platform to able to comply to the international standards for the carbon credit like CDM standard or gold standard. So as long as the data can get verified by this independent assessors, then they can issue the certificate carbon credit. So then you can trade in anywhere in the world in other component of the country. Yeah.
Mr. Tan, there's a question here saying, can you type your reply on the joining fees, please? Because we could not hear you clearly. So please, Mr. Tan, can you just type the response? Right. How much is the joining fees? So because your voice is really cannot be heard. Okay, so while we are fixing that, I'll come back and ask Dato to answer this question. What is the milestones for carbon trading under MGTC?
Okay, Prof, you hear me?
Yes, yeah, very clear and yes, very clear.
Yes, okay.
Can you
I think the milestone can be easily worked out based on the target.
Okay.
Yes, I think the milestones, now they're crunching the numbers, but the most important that we'll meet the target, I mean the pledge by 2030, we must reduce our emission at least 30% or up to 45%, or 35% up to 45% by the next 10 years. So that's how our milestone is going to be worked out.
So by the year of 2030, right?
That's a target, yes.
That's the target, okay.
So our milestone by year going to be targeted to meet that target, yeah, right?
Okay, all right.
So the milestone, yeah, can be easily worked out, being worked out now anyway. So any form of carbon incentive scheme, yes, there are existing ones, the one that I highlighted, and these have been around the last 10 years. But our next really to provide, not only incentives, but also some sort of other measures, how to reduce our carbon reduction at the same time, we have to generate renewable energy, right? That's the new scheme we are working on. Yeah.
Thank you, Dato. Thank you.
I know this, and of course, carbon trading is the least impactful compared to carbon tax, right? The reason why you don't want to introduce carbon tax, we have international obligation, but Malaysia is a developing country. We don't have that. I would say legal obligation. Yeah, only voluntary. Yeah, but we have a common responsibility to reduce our emission. Yes. I hope that clarifies. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Dato. Thank you. So we come to the next question to Mr. Azhar from Mr. Richard here. Well, let me read out the question first. Have COVID-19 affected gatekeeper and chiller optimization system in energy management projects? Yes, Mr. Azhar, can you respond to that question? Mr. Azhar, are you here? Mr. Azhar? Oh, Mr. Azhar is not here.
Okay, sorry, I was muted by the host, so thank God I'm unmuted. Okay, all right. So it's a good question about the whether COVID-19 affected gatekeeper. Actually, COVID-19 strengthened the gatekeeper platform. If you look at the situation whereby when COVID-19 happens, a lot of online activity has been displaced and replaced with the offline, rather the offline activity replaced by the online activity. So when COVID-19 happens, it kind of strengthened the gatekeeper position whereby we don't have to go to the factory. The so-called facility operator can just put the data on gatekeeper, and they can see the performance of their equipment, and they can see what are the things that they can help to improve further their operation and savings. So this is the new era when we say technology and the future is now. whereby no longer you have to go to every corner of the world to find out what is the efficiency criteria of that building. So through the cloud-based platform. In fact, we're going to launch pretty soon to 3 countries: Malaysia, Indonesia, and Singapore. So whereby they can put their data and get their report. Now, in terms of implementation itself, right? So the report will explain what need to do, or the intervention that we have put up, and through our channel partners globally, we can work with them in the local area to support the client. So that's a good thing about it, you know. So it doesn't have to be like we going down to the ground to do everything, but leveraging on every single solution. For example, like I see in Malaysia, you know, and the other countries of other solution that we partner in Italy or in Japan and so on, able to provide the solution to the local client. So that strengthens gatekeeper position. Now, having said that, when you implement the solution, that's where the end-to-end come again, whereby when you implement, what kind of savings are you looking at? You look at renewable energy savings, you look at chiller savings, you look at voltage optimizer savings, and all these savings can be harnessed and then we put on into the carbon credit monetization. And that's a set of savings that the client can enjoy, right? And there are other types of savings, whether it be coming from the grant side or for the investor side. So having a single platform of gatekeeper is an ecosystem for a lot of so-called players or a lot of people a community to be involved, from the client side, like the hospital, hotel, you know, malls and so on, to the vendor side, even financing side, you know, and then carbon monetization. It's truly a kind of Uberizing the engineering part, or Uberizing the solution under the energy industry itself. So the chiller optimization, once we have gotten the data, the same thing as well, our solution provider, like IC themselves, they can plug in the solution and have it run autonomously. So these are things that we should be able to leverage on the community, to leverage on the people, the professional, to get the solution implemented, to get the carbon emission reduced by being very, very consultative of the solution that we implement. So that's where I think will change a lot of things and help reduce carbon emission much faster. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you. There's another question for you, Mr. Azhar Osman, right? From Nitin Sazina, if I pronounce her name right, Nitin Sazina. What is the pricing for using the Gatekeeper platform?
All right, very good question. Now, the whole idea that we want to help clients whereby they are not being subjected to high costs. And I give you an example. A typical energy auditor will charge between maybe 15,000 to 20,000 depending on the size of the building, and go up all the way to maybe 100,000 depending on the complexity. Now we're starting off our price at $1,000. That is very, very low, right? Very $1,000, and depending on the size of the building can go to $5,000 or even $10,000. So we try to help our client, you know, not pay a lot of money to get the report. Because after they did the analysis and then they pay for the report, and then there's another solution that they have to pay for, right? So the barrier that we want to break is that they can, you know, pay a very small amount and then they can get the report and they know where they are. I think that is where technology helped to improve the reporting, to improve the submission. So we have clients like AirAsia, you know, that leverage on this kind of scheme. And then when they are able to get the report, they can see for themselves. So overall, clients from Indonesia, Singapore, and so on, through our advisory, not only they save on the cost of report, they save on the cost of implementation and the cost of consumption. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Mr. Azhar. So now we have one final question here to Mr. Prabhat from Rigi. To Mr. Prabhat. Mr. Prabhat, what is the average savings and return on investment? Also, why is an ICEE solution adopted more widely available already? What are your challenges? Mr. Prabhat, can you respond to that question?
Sure.
From Rigi.
Number one, the average savings that are achieved for the ICE system differ between whether the building is an 8-hour operating building like an office, or whether it's a mall which is 7 days a week, 14 hours or 24 hours. However, if you group up the savings, you can typically see savings of between $150,000 to $600,000 per year, every year. And return of investment is getting lower and lower by virtue of wireless and also the cost of sensors going down. Our typical return on investment is 2 years and below, and oftentimes it is even less than a year. Why isn't ICE solution adopted more widely? Well, quite a few good reasons and valid reasons. One is that unlike normal solutions which are hardware driven, or what they call component efficiency, such as variable frequency drives, inverters, and the likes of it, ICE is intelligence efficiency. Intelligent efficiency, which means that the only equipment that we need to install is for the purpose of gathering data. However, intelligent efficiency inherently has got challenges related to changes in conditions. And that is why ICE has adopted continuous monitoring to incorporate those changes in conditions and normalization. What this means is, for example, if you had a building that used to run 2 chillers and now one chiller has been turned off for some reason or another, naturally your savings are going to drop by quite a substantial amount. Although your savings percentage might still be the same, but your dollar value translation might not, because of the fact that you're running half the chillers now. So similar situations that happen in a variety of conditions that can change, such as production loads that change, the number of people in the building, and so on and so forth, will impact the saving, and more importantly, the ambiguity, because you will find the facility manager scratching his head saying, I wonder if this saving is because of your system or whether it's because of a certain change in condition. Now, based on these challenges, that is why we have introduced, number one, our startup kit or our mobile kit, so that it removes this ambiguity right up front. You know, straight away, you know what your exact consumption is, so that you can assess and ascertain what kind of savings you're going to get under those specific conditions. And number two, it removes the challenges related to implementation, lengthy implementation timelines. And number three, it gives you a solid foundation for your baseline. The second thing that we have done is to incorporate blockchain into our solutioning, so that the method of saving is also now no longer an ambiguity or an area or a specialist area that you are not aware of, because it is being controlled and it is being validated by third-party energy managers. So these are basically the answer. The ROI is less than 3 years, most of the time, typically less than 2 years. The savings can range between 100 to 600, 700,000 a year. If you take an average building, a hospital, let's say a 6-story hospital, you are looking at about 400,000 savings a year. And the challenges are related to intelligent efficiency, which is different from component efficiency, which is why we are addressing it through our ICE Compact Quick Install Kit. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Mr. Prabhat. We have one question here from Stephen Yo, saying, is BESC applicable to countries other than Malaysia? But Miss Jenny Hugh has answered that questions online, so I don't think we have to respond or to read it again. So, but when we have final questions here from Chris to everyone, whoever wants to answer this is very open questions. Just a few minutes ago, this question was posted up. Different energy efficient solutions have different simple payback periods. Shorter is of course better. Have the speakers found that it's very tough to sell EE solutions with paybacks above a certain range? For example, if below 3 years simple payback, building owners are supportive. If greater than 3 years, is very difficult. So anybody wants to respond to that question from Chris?
Prof, I'll go first, and then
okay.
let Tan and Azhar also respond. My answer is that the answer is yes. There is always going to be a standard. One of the common standards I found across the board is expectation of a 2-year payback. And internally in IC, we have always worked to go below 2 years because of that. However, I think that at the end of the day, it is the level of comfort and trustworthiness of the solution in delivering the savings year on year that will drive the decision by the facility owner. And that is why we have taken the 2 very major measures that I've explained in terms of the mobile kits and in terms of the blockchain authentication, so that not only is a longer payback period being accepted, but more importantly, because we need to make an impact to the climate, no matter how small the savings are, we should go ahead and save. We shouldn't waste just because we can waste. The ROI is a question of whether you can wait that long to get your investment back. However, the ROIs are coming down aggressively with the adoption of intelligent efficiency, where the only equipment you require are the sensors. Off to you, Azhar Tan.
All right.
Yes, Mr. Azhar.
Yes, Professor. Thank you. Thank you, Prof. I concur your comment about the fact that if you can save whatever, no matter how small, it is important to understand that the ROI itself, of course, can range depending on the product. I want to add on is that that's the advantage of what we are creating in this consortium or this ecosystem. If you look at the ROI of EE solutions, right? People do not want to pay because they have to take years to save. And the whole idea of technology is that can we reduce the number of years of the return of investment, right? And I think we can, because what has happened in the past, where different solutions are being given, it's not combined together. If you combine together the solution, that helps a lot to the investor or to the building owner to see the savings, because EE solutions is not about purely of efficiency, and this is where the solution is broken. If you talk about efficiency purely and not talk about savings, that's going to be an issue, right? So we're looking at both factors to improve the efficiency and to improve the savings. At the end of the day, for the client, they look at how much do they pay, monthly. We have clients who paid 1 million per year, and we're looking at a 10 to 20% savings. That is a lot of savings for them, in fact. So these are things that we believe with a lot of data coming to our platform from different countries, from different owners or different building managers, we start to understand the pattern of consumption. We start to understand which solution benefit them most, or which solution that they can invest at the fastest return. And then when they make more money, they can invest on others. And that's where the long run, I think the advantage of the efficiency and the advantage of reduction of carbon emission need to be done collectively. And if you can do it correctly, I think that's where the strength of the platform coming in, the strength of the consortium coming in to help the client save a lot more than just one simple solution. Over to you, Tan.
Yes, Mr. Tan.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Very.
Yeah, I try speaker. Yeah, my this laptop problem, but I try to speak louder.
Okay.
In fact, actually, yeah, this is one also the very proposition bring by the BESC by converting those energy saving data become the carbon saving. Then you can get verified and audited to get the certified carbon credit, so you can monetize on the carbon credit. So this will create a better ROI back to your projects, other than the energy saving from the electricity bill. Then you can monetize just based on pure energy saving, carbon saving data. This is a whole objective of the BESC one to perform.
May I just also add one more comment, Prof. Nasir?
Okay, continue. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I would like to also say that one more aspect of energy saving is the fact that energy saving on its own is not incentive enough for someone to adopt energy efficiency solutions. And I think what the consortium is bringing to the table is something more than just pure energy saving, which is, the whole reliability factor. The other aspect, and a very important aspect for ICE in particular, is autonomous operations. We believe that mechanical equipment is going to be operated by intelligent software in the future. And that is already taking place in the form of autonomous vehicles. So what we are offering is autonomous operation, which is self-driving, chiller, central air conditioning operation without human intervention. And we believe that that is going to be a bigger incentive, and the energy saving that will result from autonomous operation will be a great way to pay for the autonomous equipment and the autonomous ability by itself. So that's what I wanted to add. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Prabodh. We have one final question here from Mr. Shawkat to everybody. Will polluting industry like heavy industrial factory, like steel making, furnace compel to buy carbon credit without implementation of carbon tax? Anybody wants to respond to that? Maybe Dato can respond to that, or Azhar Osman, Mr. Azhar.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I try to answer. I think there's a big difference from carbon trading and with carbon credit than carbon tax. Carbon tax is a mandatory requirement. That means the moment you use any fuel releasing carbon, then you have to pay a certain tax. That's mandatory. But I think the carbon trading scheme is in a way not quite mandatory but voluntary, meaning to say that those who could afford to reduce, please do so. And should they have a surplus, then they can put the emission, then they're encouraged to buy this credit. I think that's, I think these two subjects, they're not quite, linked to each other. I think two different schemes, two different mechanisms. And of course, the main barrier to either scheme is, of course, the resistance from those who use fossil fuels like heavy coal and heavy fuel. I think, but at time things have to change. I think we cannot, keep subsidizing them. Actually, one of the main problems that Malaysia have now, the government does subsidize the use of fossil fuels. That's a problem also. Yeah, there are other policy issues we need to overcome. But actually, Professor Nasir, I did pose one question earlier to Prabodh, to confirm one of the reasons why the very slow takeoff of energy efficiency power tariff, low electricity tariff, whether they could comment on that, whether they could confirm that. Just a simple confirmation, whether it is so or not. Thank you.
Thank you, Dato. Absolutely right, spot on. In fact, in the 5 countries that we are in right now, the adoption rate for energy efficiency is lowest in Malaysia because the incentive for saving is not significant because the dollar value is very small, and that is directly related to the tariff. So the answer is yes. One of the challenges for most facilities for not going for energy saving in Malaysia is because of the relative low tariff. I totally agree with you. And in fact, that is why also we believe that the real incentive is going to come from autonomous operation, whereby you can impact not just facility management costs from energy saving, but also from operational costs, and also in terms of lengthening the life of the chiller or the equipment that you are impacting. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Prabodh.
So
Thank you,
Professor, can I
Prabodh. Thank
add
you,
a
Dato.
bit? can I add a bit about what regarding the heavy industry and also back to the
okay, yes, Mr. Azhar,
right.
yes, continue.
All right. So one of the things that we want to embark on is not purely on malls or hotel and hospital, which is typically what we have been moving on. In fact, we are going to industry like textile, pharmaceutical, and so on. These are not the common industry done by energy auditors, and that's where we keep on emphasizing end to end, that we covers every single facility or single building that consumes power. That's where we come in to help our client. So GATE actually in short form is a global analytics energy doctor. As an energy doctor, that's where we try to help as much possible, be like this heavy industry, steel mill and so on. In our experience, when we supply our system in cases like Bangladesh, Pakistan, Indonesia, Philippines, and so on, there is the element of providing energy management that they can improve their consumption as well. That's number one. Number two is that if you look at how we can help clients as well, because sometimes we invest or we put our funds in so that they can enjoy the savings, and of course we share the savings along the way. By doing a cohesive or a very comprehensive ecosystem, we can help the clients no matter which industry they are in, whichever building that they manage. That's where we plan to do so. By doing that, then the carbon emission or the carbon credit can be monetized even greatly. So we are not putting anybody, nor we are missing anybody away apart. So this is where our solution covers end to end and in a global fashion as well. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you. So I think this wraps up our webinar, and I'd like to thank everybody for the questions. Once again, thank you for the speakers from Jeans, Mr. Azhar Osman, from ICEE, Mr. Prabhat Seth, and from EPC Blockchain, Mr. Tan. I would like to thank you, everybody, also from Dato, Professor Abu Bakar, for soft launching of the Blockchain Energy Savings Consortium. For those who have further questions, you are more than welcome to email to the respective companies. As you can see, our speakers are excited to answer all your questions, even though we have given half an hour. It's more than half an hour now. You may screenshot or take note on the email address listed here. Worry not, there will be a recording link sent to all after the event. Last but not least, thank you for your time and attention. This marks the end of our webinar titled COVID-19 Energy Efficiency Technology Investment in Economic Recovery Plan. I, Professor Dr. Nasir, look forward to see you next time. In midst of the pandemic, keep safe, follow the SOP procedure, and stay healthy. Thank you and goodbye.